Hello everyone and welcome to New York Metro Weather's forecast discussion for Tuesday, November 29th, 2011. It has been a while since we were able to chat with you, and we're glad to be back and able to be doing these discussions again. You can see our analysis page up on the screen here, courtesy of the Storm Prediction Center. Really, we're excited to jump right into it here. We have one main feature which you'll notice. Well, actually, you could argue two main features. The first being the high pressure here over the northern plains building in, and the second, the low pressure area, which is still only 1,000, maybe a little under 1,000 millibars. But you can tell it's a pretty dynamic system. Here's the cold front to the south of the system. You can see the lower pressures extending there. And here's the cold side precipitation wrapping around the system. So that's usually when you see a strong circulation around a system like that, you could tell that it's a pretty strong system. Our area still in between this low pressure influence and the high pressure. Record high temperatures were set again yesterday, with Newark reaching 72 and Central Park reaching 70. Pretty unheard of for this time of year. It's November 28th, 29th. So to be able to touch those records is pretty remarkable. And it's this air mass ahead of this storm, with Atlantic air coming in, and a very warm, abnormally warm air mass that has allowed us to get to those kind of temperatures. But this high pressure sliding off to the east, you'll notice high clouds increased on Monday afternoon as the influence from this storm begins to be felt. This will get more dramatic over the next few days. We'll take a look here at the NAM, North American forecast model, and here we have the 500 millibar charts on the top left, which is the middle of the atmosphere, the vorticity, the energy disturbances in the atmosphere. And you can see right here over the southeast states is what we were looking at earlier, that surface low. This is called a cutoff low. So we have, you can see there's 2 or 3 closed contours here. It's cut off from the jet stream, which is actually here to the north over Canada. And if you look over here to the right and you look at the thicknesses, you see this red dotted line. That's the 540 decremeter thickness, which is closed off. There's cold air in the center of this system that's actually allowing snow to fall over parts of the southeast and Mississippi Valley. So you'll see this storm system will actually track to the east and up the east coast, so that by, what is this? Let's see, this is 8 p.m. on Tuesday right here. This storm system's over the mid-Atlantic, so temperatures in the mid-Atlantic are colder than they are here. And you'll notice a line, if you look here on the bottom right, a line of showers and thunderstorms approaching our area. That'll be the real story. And with these new model graphics, we get a great look at the radar. Here we are in New Jersey, New York City, our area, and you can loop this hour by hour, and this is just a terrific look at, here comes some showers. This is Tuesday afternoon as we get a little bit of a warm sector coming in, and notice how the precipitation is streaming in off the ocean. There is such a strong fetch of warm air ahead of this line of showers and thunderstorms associated with the cold front. So we actually get showers coming in ahead of it, and then you'll see this line of showers and storms comes through Tuesday night into Wednesday morning, and then pushes right on through, and the system, the low pressure, will actually be over here over west central New York. And this is the cold conveyor belt, the cold side of the system, and now the cold front displaced all the way back here over eastern New England. So, although the rain totals may not be that high, it's actually going to be a pretty cool system to come through here and wipe out this historically warm air mass. You can actually take a look here at the NAM model's depiction. Here's our temperatures on the top left. This is Tuesday afternoon's forecast. You can see mid-60s again, 70s over Delaware, and then you'll see this line of convection approach. This is the top right screen showing precipitation. So here it comes, and if you watch both simultaneously, you can see the temperature gradient come through. And then by the overnight hours, we're back into the 40s, and high temperatures on Wednesday are barely 50, with a much colder air mass in place over the area. Here's a dynamic view of what we were just looking at. You can see the top right image showing a zoomed in version of the 500 millibar vorticity we were looking at earlier. The middle of the atmosphere, the disturbance, very strong and driving in the cold air. That's pretty impressive. So that'll be the story through Wednesday. It's going to be a little blustery on Wednesday as the system comes through, and then clearing out by Wednesday afternoon with much cooler temperatures, barely reaching into the lower 50s. What happens after that is pretty similar to what we've been seeing. Another high pressure builds in over the east coast here. This is the NAM model out to about 78 hours, which would bring us to Friday morning. You can see another cutoff low now back over the southwest United States. So once again, dry and fair weather looks to be built in. Not quite as warm, but interesting to see that the fair weather is back. And although it's not going to be near what we were seeing earlier this week, the pattern definitely not dictating a lot of troughs over the eastern U.S. We're going to look extended here with what we have the chance. This image is the GFS ensembles, so all of the satellites of the GFS model. And this actually shows us the height anomalies in the middle of the atmosphere, which means how anomalous are the heights compared to normal averages. So here we are. This is the current pattern. You'll notice a few things. We'll point it out here. For one, we have the cutoff low of the southeast U.S. This is a very anomalous feature. You can see the dark blues. Then we have the ridge over our area right here. You can see the reds. But more importantly, we want to look out in the Pacific here. We have a ridge on the west coast, but really the cold air is displaced well to the north. So we're going to loop this out a few days here. And notice the continuing pattern. One thing changes. We have a monster ridge here in the Pacific Ocean, which is completely different and replacing a large Alaskan vortex, which was a huge trough over Alaska last week, which was the dominant feature on the globe, has completely flipped. So the Alaskan vortex is gone, and now we have this huge ridge here. And typically, when you look for winter weather in our area, that's one thing you want to check off. This segment is a little bit biased towards those who are looking to see when winter will arrive. So there's that ridge. Now it's important to watch as the ridge builds. You'll see the cold air, the lower height anomalies become more noticeable over the central U.S. But why is our area still warm despite this pattern? Well, you look at wavelengths and you say, okay, here's a ridge, here's a trough, here's a ridge. What would it cause to get the cold air into our area? And the answer lies, coincidentally, up here near Greenland in the Davis Strait, where we measure the North Atlantic Oscillation, which is the NAO. So right now, this is a positive NAO with a big trough. In order to get a negative NAO, you will have a ridge building here into Greenland and the Davis Straits, which therefore forces colder air into southeastern Canada and the northeast United States. So that is one very important thing to check off on the list if you're looking for winter weather here. Things actually get a little bit less favorable as we go into the long range. Here's this ridge over the eastern Pacific and the west coast of the United States. Watch this feature retrograde back to the west. It actually keeps building back to the west on these models, which means although the cold air will be displaced into the northeast and the north central United States around December 5th to 7th, it'll be very transient because, once again, we have lower height anomalies over Greenland and the Davis Straits. So as this ridge retrogrades, what's going to happen? The heights will rise on the east coast, and you can see the ensembles picking up on it. There's no ridging here. The NAO is too positive to support cold air for long periods of time. So without the support of a ridge on the west coast, you can see this has retrograded back to the central Pacific. You get a ridge here on the west on building. It's very transient on the west coast, and then heights lowering. But because of the trough over Greenland and the Davis Straits, the southeast ridge, a ridge in the southeast United States, can actually pump up, which means there could be a very sharp gradient between above normal temperatures and below normal temperatures, where above normal temperatures would reside over New England, over the mid-Atlantic, and below normal temperatures would reside over New England. And these patterns, these gradient patterns, as we are calling them in the meteorological community, can allow for storms to track from the southwest U.S. up through the mid-Atlantic and provide a winter weather headache here in the New York City area with snow to rain, and a lot of snow for northern New England, and above normal temperatures and precipitation for the mid-Atlantic. So we're obviously getting far out here. This would bring us into almost mid-December. So it's a lot of this is speculation. But this is just an idea of where the pattern is heading. Right now, it doesn't look like we're going to be entering any period that is favorable for significant winter weather in our forecast area. So once again, we're glad to be back doing these discussions with you. We're going to get into more detail. We don't have a set schedule for these. We're not going to be doing them every single day. But as much as we can, update you on the weather and have a nice discussion with you guys. we'll pull one of these videos up and post one on YouTube as we usually do. So leave us a comment. Remember to talk to us on Facebook and Twitter. Twitter is at New York Metro WX, and the Facebook.com/New York Metro WX. You guys know the deal by now. And so comment, discuss with us. We'll be here on YouTube, commenting under the video. And we'd love to talk about the pattern with you guys. Also, make sure to check out our forecast beta, which you have on our website, where you can click on your local area on the map and get your specific forecast. So that's all we got for today. We'll be updating throughout the week, and we're excited to talk to you guys soon.